Francesco Milcante, such an
Yeah,
honor. Thanks so much for being here. It's awesome to talk to you. So good to meet you.
thanks so much, Ron. It's a pleasure. It's a big pleasure.
So let's start at the beginning. You are an incredible musician. I've seen some of your viral videos, which is
Thank
why I
you.
reached out to you. But we'll start just at the beginning. What got you into music?
Like it was not just music before. Like it was art in general. It was I was passionate from theater, from circus, from but music. It was a big part of my life, and I mixed everything in what I do now. Like it's in performing art, circus, and puppets, all in what I do.
Oh, you do puppets too?
Yeah, I
I
built
never
like
saw any. I like to think I've seen a good amount of your videos. I've never seen any of that.
there's some puppets sometimes. I get a turkey, and when I were in California, it was so fun because it was my first time that I saw wild turkey in the street, and I
Really?
was so happy. Yeah, it was it was so scaring, but I was so happy. Real turkey and a
So
little who dance.
So I know, and I should know more about this, but I know that puppets and puppet theaters have a very rich history in Italy.
Yeah,
Could you go into that a little bit?
like I'm not all inside the puppet East Italian history. Like my puppets are Irish in reality. It's
Okay.
all, yeah. It's an old, old kind of percussion in which the puppets dance, and with the dance of the puppets, he dance on some wood, and when he dance, he makes percussion, and they use these puppets as percussion in Irish jig and Irish music.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you okay? So you're very worldly then in your repertoire. Like you're kind of all over the place.
yeah,
And
yeah.
literally all over the place. You travel all over the world, or to many parts of the world at least.
Yeah, I'm so lucky in this moment. Yeah, I'm so lucky because I live in west side of France and I travel all around depending by where the people call me to play.
So you grew up in Milan.
Exactly, like close to Milan. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
in
So
you know.
so did you have formal training? Like did you study music and theater, or were you all just self-taught, or unpack some of that for me?
But before I studied theater before, and like when I starting working, I start pay music lesson, and I studied theater before in Milan, and after I moved to Paris, and I studied there theater because there it was in there's certain school in Paris. It's not just theater, but there's performing art, theater, music, martial arts, and dance, all in the same school, and it was so interesting to me doing something like that.
Mhm. So what led you to then, and I'm sure there's many layers to this, but what led you to what you do now? So I was thinking in English, and I know I mean you speak fluent English, so you know this,
Yeah,
but we would say busker is, the kind of appropriate term.
yeah,
And sometimes people will say street musician, but depending on the person who says that, that could have a negative implication. So if you want to use like the most appropriate term, you would say busker. Like what you do, you are a busker. Um and so what led you to that? Like what got you into that?
it was, I think it was love for people, love for music, love for travel, and I put everything together, and it was busking, just traveling and having freedom, traveling free, and like having the opportunity to meet a lot of people in a lot of different places. Because like when you go in a place like for holiday, like you go Tokyo to holiday in Tokyo, you don't know nobody. Like it could be nice, like you see a lot of nice stuff, but if you go basking in Tokyo, in 30 minutes you can have like knowing people, like people who appreciate you, and exchange a lot with these people.
Yeah, well, so where did you start? Like, when was your first performance?
It was in the marketplace here in the north of Italy. I
Yeah.
went with it, like I built a bag, a
Uh-huh.
percussion bag, and I moved with my guitar, with my harmonica in the market, playing and singing and performing in this way.
And was there ever a moment? Because I've never busked before. Like, it's not something I've ever. I also do not have anywhere close to the music talent that you do. But I've never done that before. I do a show that I often do in Renaissance fairs. It's a historic interpretation of Lucian, the satirist. If you're familiar with his work, so I do that, and the first time I did it, it was an entirely different animal for me because I wasn't in a nightclub or something like that. I was just out there, and my stage was the outdoors and the elements, and I was just, you kind of call it like community theater in the purest sense. You're literally out there in the community, and you need to make that into a performance space. And it was a lot of fun, but for the first couple performances it was a little overwhelming. Did you ever have that? Like, did you ever have that moment where you were just, oh man, I'm not on a stage per se, like I'm just out there amidst the people, and is anyone paying attention to me? Like, did you ever have that moment, or did it just click for you right away?
What did it mean overwhelming?
Oh, overwhelming, like uh oh, gee, how would I
What in
describe
Italian means?
in Italiano, troppo
Ah,
cose. Ah, mio Dio,
yeah,
troppo persone, troppo
yeah.
sono a fiori e non a teatro.
Thank you. Thank you. When you talk with the end, it's easier for me to understand. Okay. No, I understand. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. It's like there's a lot of stuff to manage when you have not a stage and organized place. Like you have to manage like where people, where do you put yourself, and there's a lot of to think about. But it's so exciting as well. And so these little, I don't know what will happen. I don't know, like if there will be 3 people or 100 people. So it will give you a little spicy, a little spice in your pasta.
I love it.
Yeah,
Well, I'll say, I mean, I've seen a good amount of your videos. I clearly haven't seen all of them, but in every video I've ever seen, aside from the content just being outstanding because you're fantastic at what you do, but even aside from that, it's obvious you're having fun up there.
yeah,
It's just very obvious that you are having a really fun time, and
yeah,
that is the way we would say it in English, like that's infectious. That's like infectious in a good way. Like, people feel your good time, and that
yeah.
helps
Yeah.
them really have a good time. Like I really want to see you live sometime. And I know that'll happen. I don't know when, but that'll definitely happen at some point. Maybe
Sure.
it'll happen before this episode even airs. I kind of doubt it. I don't think I'll be out that way anytime real soon. But yeah, I look forward to the day I get to catch you doing your thing
Yeah.
in person.
I really hope that, like, I was in San Diego a few months ago, and I hope to come back soon, because I love West, Far West. It's just amazing.
Usually the weather's great, but as of the recording of this, we're actually getting some storms in the area. So
Yeah,
now would not be, if I showed you my deck, it would not have a pretty view like it usually does. You would just see a lot of rain and wet and stuff like that. But
yeah.
we need it, so I guess it's okay. Well, what is your favorite country to play?
It's a good question. I think each country is different. Each country is so different. Like just in Europe and in America, that's a big difference. Like in America, if you want to play, if you want to busk in the street, like, it's so hard because there's not like there's you have to find it, but there's nice square where people passing, but everything is huge, it's so big, so it's harder finding a place to play. Maybe in the big town, But in Europe, the nice stuff is like you can find the nice little town in which people don't have the habit to see a street artist on a Sunday morning, and you are there. But it's so each country is so different. I think like one big difference, for example, we're talking about Italy. Like in Italy, I think than in France or another place. In Italy, people want to sing, and in other places they want to hear maybe, and it's so fun because like when I'm in Italy I know that, and like I enjoy to make people sing and enjoy in this way. Yeah, it's a different kind of participation.
I love that. Well, I hope I hope I get to see you anywhere, but I hope especially I get to see you in Italy. I want to see
Yeah,
you do your thing on the home turf, so to speak.
yeah,
Um, so let's talk a little bit about the mechanical aspect of it. You have a box where you do your percussion with your feet. You play guitar, you play harmonica, and then somehow you also have a camera set up. Like, so how does that does somebody help you when they're filming your stuff, or do you do all of that yourself?
there's one dear friend of mine.
Okay.
Like for the first time, I'm not so good in the social communication. Like no, I'm good in social communication, but not online. Like I prefer
Yeah.
directly the social communication. But online, like the first time, there's a dear friend of mine in France. It's called Michel Daillot, who first time I asked, "Oh, can you make me a video?" He's very has amazing eyes,
Yeah.
and he has taken this first video in a nice square in west side of France, and after like I don't know how, but this video came viral, and the other
Yeah, you've had a few viral videos, so for a
yeah
guy who's not good at social media, you're doing something right, my friend.
yeah I don't know how really. I mean, yes, it's crazy, but this Michelle helped me a lot, and like we did just a phone sometimes, and just having a good eye, a good perspective, and the good people face of me. I'm so lucky for that. Like I've
Mhm.
always very nice people. I met a lot of nice people.
So does Michelle? Do they travel with you?
No. It's sometimes, but he's 70 years old, and
Oh
70.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he don't travel with me, but like sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm here for a concert, do you want to come?" Or like for other videos it was just like people who was filming myself. Oh, I got another friend here, is Leonardo, his name Leonardo Ruyu. He helped me, but it's more like when there's a video like my Bitter Sweet Symphony video, he's him who have done that.
Okay.
Like with a very low budget but a very good good result. Good
That's so amazing. I mean, especially like the Michelle, like I was picturing, because there's some amazing angles on that video. They do like a lot of great pans and stuff like that. I would have expected some savvy like 25-year-old or something. You're like, oh yeah, no, he's 70 years old, and he just, I mean, that's
Yeah.
um
This guy, he's amazing. He has a problem in his hand. He don't move very well, but like for his eyes, he is able to catch the good moment. But not just for me. Like he takes a lot of artists in this way when he met someone, and that's always an amazing videos and amazing pictures who born.
how many languages do you speak then?
Very very bad, not so good English like in this moment.
Yeah, no, you're very good at English. You
I,
have very. I hope someday my Italian is as good as your English.
yeah, me too, yeah. But
Thanks.
no, I live in France, so the French is good, Italian it's fine, Spanish is like Italian, so is really similar, and English, that's like what you hear.
Well, it's funny you mentioned it. So one time, I've told this story on a few occasions. I was I live near the beach in the Los Angeles area, and so I go for a walk there most days. Not today because of the rain, but one day it was kind of earlier in the morning, and I was just walking along the beach, and this guy said Like, I think he just said it's a nice day or something like that, but he said it in Spanish. And I didn't even notice that he was just speaking Spanish to me. And I just instinctually responded to him in Italian. And we both understood each other. Like, I wouldn't have been able to respond to him in Spanish, but I understood what he said. And then I responded to him in Italian, and he understood what I said. And I don't know if it dawned on either one of us, where he's just like, oh, I was just speaking Spanish to that guy. And he responded to me. I think he responded in Italian, but I
Yeah,
understood what he said.
crazy. This surprising. I really don't understand Italian people who study Spanish. It's so useless. It's the same
Sure.
language. No, it is not the same language. I understand Spanish. I am not able to talk Spanish.
Yeah, well, that's the same. I mean, here in, Southern California, you will hear a lot more Spanish than
Yeah,
Italian. So I will hear, Spanish, and I do understand a fair amount of it. I speak a tiny, tiny bit, but Italian is where I study, and I try to get
yeah.
better at it. My family tells me I'm improving every time we talk. I don't know if they're just being polite, but so I want to talk about, the video that I first saw of yours that made me want to reach out to you. And it was your version of Bella Ciao,
Yeah.
which is a song that I've known about for a long time, but a song that I've reconnected with more in recent years. And it is one of my favorite songs. Um, and it's a song that, and we've never talked about this yet, so we're gonna take this dive together. But when I watch you sing and play that song, I feel like, oh, this is a guy who knows what that song really means. Capisci?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that so? So what's your take on that song? Like,
I think it's talking about freedom.
right?
Uh, I read a lot about this song after, because in Italy it's so delicate. Well, we have taken a fine because of this song of 600 euros playing this song here in Italy, in Gallarate. It's a small place, and will not come back there no more. It's so hard sometimes for this song, but like its song is an anti-fascist song,
Yeah.
because like the Duce, so the dictator Mussolini, when he died, he was killed by the people. All
Hmm.
the people was singing this song until they were killing this dictator. But there was not just communists there. There was sovereignist, communist, partisan, like also right people from right politics. And now in Italy, just they have put this song like is a left politics song. I think I don't want to do politics. I just want to singing about freedom and share this feeling with people. But they taken this one, and they put it in on like it's a left song, anti-right song, but it's not an anti-right song. It's an anti-fascist song. But fascism is illegal, so it's nothing. It's nothing extreme as well.
Hmm. No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, my personal politics are very left wing. Like I'm a very left wing guy,
Yeah,
but I do feel like no, this song is for everybody. And yes, it is an anti-fascist song, absolutely. And I think that history should be embraced. But this is a song about freedom, and this is a song
exactly.
about liberty, and this is a song about standing up for regular people. And so yeah, this song is not limited to a political party, or like this is for everyone,
Exactly.
and unless you're a fascist, in which case, sorry, you're not welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, but in any case, that, and it's what I want to say. Like it's so hard for me talking about specific thing in English, and but
No,
what you
I totally understand. You're doing an excellent job. Yeah.
yeah,
I know I'm asking you to express a fairly complex idea in a
yeah,
language that is not your first
yeah,
language. So you're doing very, very good, and don't worry, nobody is going to judge you unfairly or anything like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's just about freedom. This is most important thing. It's about the moment of freedom, because when you are fighting for freedom, it's important. And I do that every day when I go in the street, and I sing my freedom, because I want to be free. And when police come and give me the fine, or like people are this hard sometimes, but like I need that, and everyone need this freedom. And for me, it's music, and it's traveling, and it's busking.
So, have you gotten in trouble in the past? Like, is that a common thing? How common is that?
Now that's better. Sometimes it depends. Like I've taken this bad fine in after just after COVID, when I didn't have money, and I went to the street with my friend Giuseppe, and the police gently came during Bella Ciao, and
During
yeah.
that song of all songs.
No, just the song. It was last song that there were police just behind, and they were activated themselves during this song, and they gave us a fine. And my lawyer said that just it was political. I was in the bad place to do this song.
Mm. So
But
wait, they gave you the fine because of the song, or just because you were busking?
yeah, officially because I were busking, but I were busking from half an hour, and this was the last song. And normally, when you're busking, like police are so kind. Normally in Italy, like we're so kind. Now I don't know now, but
That is not the case here in the United States, my friend. Be
oh
be careful here.
yeah. But I busk in the U.S., in California, in North California, in South California a little bit, but like I had no problem, luckily, with the police. But I know that maybe when you have one problem there, you don't want to have another one, another problem.
Sure.
Yeah, here it's fine. Like the police are so kind in Italy normally, and everywhere in the world normally. They see you for the first time, they say like, you cannot do that here, and you say, oh, I'm sorry, and nobody say nothing. But sometimes you could find people like that, like people like these guys who say so hi us for first time, and they gave us a fine and so arrogant way. And we are normally always kind, like we are in wrong, and so like if we bother someone, we don't do that to bother people.
Yeah. So wait, where I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Where did you get a fine?
Where?
You said that they gave you a fine. They were very arrogant about it. Where did that
In
happen?
Gallarate.
And where? I'm sorry.
In Gallarate, it's a small town near Milan.
Oh, okay, okay. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if you were talking about a different country. I kind of okay.
No, 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 it was in Italy. It was in Italy.
Oh, so that happened right near your home.
Yeah, 30 kilometers from here.
Oh, gee. So
It
it's
was,
like
yeah. That was so like. But now, now almost I have a story to tell. Yeah,
sure.
so expensive story, but a story to tell.
Well, where is your favorite place to busk in Italy? I mean, I know like countries are so different, but like in Italy, like where's your
Yeah,
favorite spot?
I think the most kind people are in this. Like not everyone in the south. I found like the most kind people in Puglia, in the south
Oh,
east.
yeah.
You know this place?
A little bit. I mean, I've been to I don't know if I've ever been directly there, but I've been around there.
Yeah,
Um, and I just have heard, I mean, that area is just so celebrated, especially here in the United States.
yeah,
Like, when someone says Puglia, you just kind of think, paradise. And I know
yeah.
it's not paradise. There's no such thing, but and have you ever gone to Ostuni?
Osuni, yeah,
Ostuni.
it's amazing. It's amazing. But all of this part of Italy, but all of Italy is all of the world. It's amazing. Like this part is so particular. I found I've been to Lecce, the deep south, and I found there the most kind people of the world. I think I don't know if there's statistics or rank, but there I found the most nice people of the world, most kind people of the world.
The only thing for me, because I have family, most of my family is either in Bologna,
Ah, yeah,
Firenze, or Cicciano, vicino di Napoli.
yeah.
And when I go to the South, my only problem is that I do not understand as well.
Yeah,
Because of the dialect, I have a much harder time
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
in the South.
Me
Um,
too. It's not like Spanish. It's so different again. No, it's another language. It's not another language, but it's so different. Like from one place to another, the way to talk, and also the expression, the way to appreciate people. That's so different, but it's so nice as well. Like in the south, it's like Naples. It's like an open space theater. That's crazy. Like you go in the street, if you understand something of what people say, you can find a lot of fun there because like you go in a bar and you find a story, and everyone talk with everyone, and at a certain moment, someone talk to you like to insert you in the conversation. That's so fun. It could be so fun.
so how did you get to the point where, I mean, you said that the first time you ever did it, it was right near Milan where you're from.
Yeah.
Um, so where did you go next? Like what happened? Like you did it for the first time. You're like, I'm feeling this. I like this. Where did you go next? And then after you went somewhere next, when did you get to the point where you decided this is my gig? This is what I do. This is my job.
Yeah. And it was always my dream, and I always worked for that, like strongly, because it was so hard. Like in Italy, it's not like in France or in Germany that you have gigs and people pay you. Like it's harder finding gigs here in Italy. I think for me it was harder. And then when I came to France or to Germany or to Belgium, it was easier. But I started in Milan, and after I start to do a little network, and after I make a circus company in Bergamo with some many dear friends of mine, and with them we start to go like from Milan to Venezia, to in the other big town, and after the small town, and after I moved to Paris, and there I was trying to, you know, to make my network grow up. And after I go to the west, to the north of France, and in this way,
Mi piace Bergamo molto.
Bergamo è bellissima.
Sì, molto bellissima. E hanno un aeroporto economica a Bergamo.
Sì, bravo.
Molto, molto, sì, 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 mi ricordo.
Sì.
Yeah. Sono andato a francese di Bergamo a Parigi.
Ah, bello, sì.
Molto anni fa, ma mi piace molto.
Bergamo è bellissima. It's
Sì.
so funny town. No, that's amazing. Like that's the high town.
Sì.
It's something beautiful.
Un grande campagna e solo un ristorante, e molte persone, parlato di tutti e mi piace molto.
Sì, sì, no, that's nice. And I think when you're an outsider, a tourist, like Italian people could be so nice. Like it could help you. I don't know what you think about that.
Oh, I mean, I've been to Italy I guess it's been like 4 or 5 times now, and yeah, I mean, this past time, for the first time, and I think part of it was the way I was dressed,
Uh,
but someone mistook me for a local.
I really,
And I think I was wearing a soccer jersey, una maglietta di calcio. That
sì.
was a soccer jersey from my cousin, from my Italian cousin. So it was his jersey from when he was a kid. So they thought, and I guess my pronunciation was good enough that I fooled them, and they thought I was a local. So that was a very flattering moment for me. But then they spoke so fast, I couldn't understand anything. So I felt really good, but then and then I had to, tell like Soto Americano, like I had to, and then they spoke much slower and I understood. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, everybody. I mean, I feel like my perception is a bit skewed because usually when I'm there, I'm with my family or I see my family, and so like a lot of my interactions are also via them. But yeah, even in general, yeah, the Italian people are very very nice, and if you make the effort to speak the language, it is very much appreciated. Um, which I think is really cool, and especially for someone like me, I try to speak the language. I will prefer to speak Italian because I'm trying to get better at it,
Okay.
and people have always been very patient with that. They've always been, even if it would be easier for them to just speak in English with me, um, they'll speak in Italian to try because they're like, this guy's trying to get better at our language, and we appreciate that, and we want to help
Yeah.
him. And yeah, I really appreciate that. And I'd imagine all cultures are kind of like that, but yeah, I've definitely had that experience, and it's always been a very positive one. Every time I go to Italy, I have a very, very hard time leaving. I have a
I,
very hard time leaving.
no, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so what do you have coming up? Like what's on your agenda for 2024? Like do you how far in advance do you plan where you're gonna go? Or is it just kind of spur of the moment?
No, it's like I plan like now people call me with 8 months in advance for the big festival,
Okay.
and after like when I know, for example, I should go. It's not sure, but I maybe should go in Serbia,
Yeah, Serbia,
in
yeah.
the east, and in Prague, in west side of Germany, in east side of Germany. Like, and I know that with a lot of advance. And after that, I have big festival. I try to look other places in which I could play, and I start sending a lot of email for that. Uh, but this here, I'm not a lot like sending email because I'm working on a new project, like for a band to propose something different for big festivals. And so doing my one man band by myself, and like when I will come back to Canada, or like for the 2025, I will propose my band, my full band in festivals.
So when you do festivals, what kind of festivals do you do? Do you do fringe festivals, or are there like festivals for busking? I might not be hip to this.
It depends, like a music festival mostly, or like when
Okay.
I'm in I was in Montreal, this like these 2 years I went to Montreal, these years and the years before. This year I made one Italian music festival in the center of Montreal, or like other world music festival, a lot of world music festival, or busker festival as well. When uh, I have a lot of different format of show, and when I move, I try to check mostly busker festival, world music, and Italian stuff.
That is so cool. I mean, there's probably just so many amazing cultural events that I'm just probably not even aware of, and I'd like to think I follow it pretty closely. I mean, I try to do fringe festivals and stuff like that, as a comedian. So, but that's
French
just really cool.
festival?
Yeah, have you ever done a fringe fest?
What is a French fest?
Fringe, FRI,
Yes. Ah,
fringe. Yeah.
yeah. I never do that. But what it mean like a fringe fest? I know that there's one big fringe festival in Scotland. In Scotland.
Yes. Oh, you should do it. It's a I did it for the first time last year. It's really, really fun. It's not as music centric of a festival, but you could go there and you could, I mean, although they're pretty strict with everything. So I don't know what their rules are around busking, but you can definitely, I mean, people bust there. It definitely
Yeah.
happens a lot. And yeah,
Uh,
you would have a ball there. It is so much fun.
I have to
Um
check. I have to check. I have some friends who do that. But I have to check. But for next year, like this year, I think I will just do few festival, and I will prepare my new show for next year and new album.
Yeah, well, I might be doing the Edinburgh Fringe again next year as well. So maybe we'll maybe that's where we'll cross paths, if not before. Because
Sorry.
yeah, I said I will probably be doing Edinburgh again next year as well. Not this year, but in 2025.
Wow,
I'll
but maybe
probably
we
be.
will
So
organize.
yeah, maybe we'll
We will,
maybe we'll meet then. That'd be great.
yeah,
I'd love that. Um, Well, go ahead in closing here. Go ahead and plug or promote anything you would want to promote. Where can people find you online? Where can they get into what you're doing? And is there anything you got coming up that you'd like to mention specifically?
Yeah, like if you write Francesco Il Mercante on Google, you will find my website, my YouTube, my Spotify, my phone number, where I live, the picture of my holidays, everything about me.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything you want to mention that we didn't get to?
I don't know. Like we talking about freedom. We talking about music, basking, traveling, and I think the most important thing that I want to say when I perform, not verbally say, but like when I want to share, is freedom and follow your passion is the most important thing for me.
That is very, very beautiful. Yeah, and I'm really glad we were able to connect. I didn't know if I'd be able to find you or get a hold of you or if you like did podcast, like I didn't really know. So I'm really glad we were able to connect.
Me too. Me too. It was so nice to you to call me and to ask me that. I'm so happy to be in California again without being there.
Right. Yes. Well, come back for real though. Come to Los Angeles.
I
I'll
will.
show you around.
Yeah, yeah.